Thanks, Cole and Maria. With the new NBA rule, it basically pushed back the final deadline for players to decide if they'll leave for the league or return to school until 10 days after the NBA's scouting combine. Previously, you had to drop out of the draft in mid-April, basically pushing it back almost a month for these players.
And for Iowa junior Peter Jock, it's simply just testing the waters after averaging 16.1 points and 3.5 rebounds per game this past season.
The Des Moines native expressed in a statement on Wednesday, "I would like to take advantage of opportunity that is now presented to underclassmen in going through the process of obtaining input from NBA personnel so that I can make an informed decision about my future. For me, this whole process is for the experience to see how it all works and then return to work on my game."
Jock has always been close to head coach Fran McCaffery and believes it's comforting having support of Coach McCaffery and staff. Coach will continue to be a valuable resource for me during this process. If it's not the right time for me to make the move to the NBA, I'm excited about returning and leading our team next season.
Jock isn't the only player at the collegiate level who is looking towards the NBA. Purdue freshman Caleb Swanigan is also taking advantage of the new NBA rule. Swanigan averaged 10.2 points and 8.3 rebounds in his first season as a freshman with the Boilermakers.
Some coaches even got in on the new rule. Kentucky's John Calipari turned to Twitter to react and make it well known how much he liked the new rule.
The first tweet stated that when the season's over, it's about each individual player and what's right for them and their families.
With a tweet following, with that being said, every player who is eligible for the draft, including our walk-ons, will submit their names for the NBA draft.
Obviously, this is completely different than recent years. It'll be interesting to see what players decide, but I think that this is a good thing to get to just test the waters a little bit.
Absolutely. Gives the players a little bit more control in their future, for sure.
Exactly. There's one Iowa football player, though, Katie, who has his life on hold right now. It's been 4 months now since defensive end Drew Ott filed paperwork to medically redshirt for a 6th season with the Hawkeyes. The Big Ten has granted Ott a 6th-year, the NCAA not yet.
After a season-ending ACL tear against Illinois last season, head coach Kirk Ferentz has his fingers crossed while the NCAA continues to drag this out.
I've had, some encouraging news just from other cases. The basketball player from Temple had a case similar to Drew's, and just learned actually yesterday about Case Keenum, who's playing for the Rams right now. When he was at Houston, he actually got a 6-year. Redshirted 1 year, played 3, and then was injured in his 5th year and got a 6 year. So, there's some cases out there that will give you encouragement.
Other news on the injury front, Greg Maben and Ben Neiman weren't on the depth chart. They're out for spring ball due to injuries in the offseason. And as for the rest of the team, it's about filling those holes of seniors who graduated, especially in the wide receiver position and the tight end position.
On offensive receiver position, certainly is, we lost 2 really good players there with Defon and Jake. So, how the young players going to come along, how they're going to develop, how they're going to push forward. I feel pretty good about, knowing what Matt Vandenberg, what he is and who he is, how he'll play. The same thing about tight ends. Henry Krieger, Coble is a guy who maybe wasn't flashy in his play.
Now, speaking of those seniors, the future was at their fingertips on Monday when it was Iowa's NFL Pro Day. 18 Hawkeyes participated in the workout and 2 stood out to NFL prospects. And Coach Ferentz just mentioned them.
Tight end Henry Krieger Coble ran the 40-yard dash in 4.8 seconds and had a 33.5-inch vertical jump. Jonathan Hayes of the Cincinnati Bengals put Krieger Coble through the workout and claimed it went very well.
Another impressive performance was wide receiver Tavon Smith. Smith ran a 4.41 in the 40 and had a 38-inch vertical jump. Smith was said to have a great workout.
Others that impressed NFL scouts not only at Pro Day but also at the Combine were kicker Marshall Kane and center Austin Blythe.
That's right. It will be extremely exciting to see where these players end up and who can grab those free agents.
Definitely. As for the present day in this upcoming Easter weekend, Iowa spring sports are in full action.
That's right, Taylor. Baseball is in Iowa City against Maryland for a 3-game series. Iowa softball opens Big Ten play at Indiana, while men's tennis resumes Big Ten play at Wisconsin and makes a quick turnaround back to Iowa City on Sunday to face Minnesota.
Women's tennis is home all weekend against Wisconsin and Minnesota as well, starting Friday afternoon and then Sunday at 11 a.m.
We will have all the recaps from those games next week, starting on Easter Sunday.
To stay updated over the weekend, though, keep up with DailyIowan.com or follow the Daily Iowan Sports page on Twitter at DI_sports_desk. Marie and Cole, back to you.